I first heard of Dr. Mensa Otabil. My neighbor brought a tape of his by the future, which I guess that's the tape that was now transcribed into this book. By the future is a story of Esau and Jacob. You can divide nations along these two lines: Esau nations and Jacob nation. If you give an Esau a forest, he will turn it into a desert. And if you give a Jacob a desert, a Jacob will turn that desert into a forest. Two productive systems: one is a producer, the other is a consumer. One is a tent person, the other is a field person. One is a thinking person, the other is a doing person. Does it come to you as a wonder that people that think the most earn the highest? Thank you for tuning in to my rehearsals. Yeah, you're welcome. In line with what we've been talking about, which is the loop of poverty. Yesterday, I think I threw more light on. I said something with regards to globalization and how the poor really have what they need. They have everything they need, which was confirmed by facts that has been confirmed by an economist from Peru. Today I want to kind of throw another line of discussion. In as much as this is a teaching session, an unfiltered teaching session, I would also just like to throw in some background gist as we progress with the whole discussion. And this is for persons that may want to know me personally and may want to know me more, and may also want to be part of my process, part of my journey. There is where we are headed to. This is not all we can be. We are going to be more than this. So I don't know. The essence of this vlog is so that you come with me as we go on this journey towards fulfillment of prophecy, towards fulfillment of destiny. And as I'm moving, I pray that you also move. Just that I've been exposed to several materials, I've been exposed to several things, I've been exposed to several teachers. And as I progress in this my journey, I thought to be sharing what I've been learning and also what I've learned during the course of my life. So today I have this book by Dr. Mensa Otabil, By the Future. The funny thing about this is that the very first time I heard of Dr. Mensa Otabil was in, I think that should be either 2008, 2009, I can't pinpoint it. My neighbor in Zamfara, I grew up in Zamfara. Our primary secondary school was in Zamfara before I moved out of Zamfara to Enugu in 2010. And that should be either a 15th of March. Yeah, I moved out 15th of March 2010. That should be on a Sunday. And the reason why I remember that specific date is because it's the birthday of one of my friends, Emeka. He may be watching this. That's why I remember precisely I left Zamfara State for Enugu to study metallurgical and material engineering. Yeah, I did that for 4 years before I now switched over to study estate management proper. That's a story for another day, or maybe a story for another time if this. So like I was saying, I first heard of Dr. Mensa Otabil. My neighbor brought a tape of his, By the Future, which I guess that's the tape that was now transcribed into this book. By the Future is a story of Esau and Jacob. And in as much as it's a Bible story, it still have real-time application. The message, and this book talks about when when Isaac's wife had had the kids and they were fighting in the womb, she now went to God and prayed. And God told him that she was carrying two nations in her womb, that the older will serve the younger. So from that story, you will see two kinds of individuals, you will see two kinds of nations. And as it stands now, in the entire universe, in the world, you can divide nations along these two lines: Esau nations and Jacob nations. So from that Bible story, you will see prophetic positionings. These children did nothing in the womb for this prophetic positioning, for this destiny to be. I'm not a grace doctrine person, where they said, what is it called? I'm not a predestination. I don't really believe in predestination. I just believe that God knows our hearts. He knows every person. So that is why it's possible for him to tell one's future. He knows our virtue. He knows our character. He knows how we're going to talk. He is God. He knows everything. So sometimes people ask, if God knew Adam and Eve would have eaten the fruit, why did he not place it in the garden? Me, I can't answer such questions. He is God. And there's nothing we can say about that. But outside that, you will see two kinds of productive systems in these people's life. One was a producer, the other one was a consumer. Dr. Mensa Lotabi said something that if you give an Esau a forest, he will turn it into a desert. And if you give a Jacob a desert, a Jacob will turn that desert into a forest. So this is to tell you the mindset of two different individuals, the mindset of two different nations. Like, if we should drive this down to our country, Nigeria, drive this down to our nation, you will see that you can liken the nation of Nigeria to an Esau nation. Because it's as if we are... Don't worry, I'll come back to that. So two productive systems. One is a producer, the other is a consumer. One is a tent person, the other is a field person. One is a thinking person, the other is a doing person. Does it come to you as a wonder that people that think the most earn the highest? People that are into thinking tend to be more rewarded in life's reward system. Let's look at this is the information age. Bill Gates, the world richest man at the time, doesn't own a factory. Like, doesn't have... I'm trying to get my facts right. Okay, let's look at Mark Zuckerberg. I got to know Facebook in 2009. I think that was when Facebook started gaining popularity in Zamfara as at then. Then when I moved to the university, and I became more conversant with the whole Facebook social media stuff. As at 2009, Aliko Dangote, hey, I'm calling names. I'm just trying to give, I don't want to call names. I'm trying to I'm trying to state the fact. As at 2009, Mark Zuckerberg wasn't anywhere close to 30. I can't get the specific age. I can't state how old he was then. But compared to the wealth of the richest man in Nigeria then, Mark Zuckerberg was no place. But fast forward to today, he is at the forefront. When you, I think he's the third richest man now in the world. How did this wealth come from? From the brain. That is why when I said something like, that is why when I said the the poor man has everything he needs for his next level. And this is what I mean. He has everything he needs for his next level. But we as Africans, we tend to think in the light of the Industrial Revolution, forgetting that times have changed. Even if you look at our curriculum in school, we still teach Industrial Revolution knowledge. We still have an Industrial Revolution curriculum. I was listening to Pastor Sam Adeyemi, and he said something about education. He said, when the life at the point used to be agrarian, and then things moved to, and then we moved to the industrial age. Then these industries needed workers, and they had to train workers in mass. That was how the education system came about, to train people that would work in these industries in mass. But now we have moved away from the Industrial Revolution, and still we are still training workers en masse to take over which industries? Is it the industries that we've moved away from? Now let's bring that knowledge down to Nigeria. Let's bring that information to Nigeria. We keep training people en masse for the Industrial Revolution. But if you look at it, where are the industries that these people are going to work in? I look at it, somebody that studied microbiology or biochemistry, which lab is this person going to work in? How much does the person have to import chemicals, to import, like, where will the person practice? That is why in my profession now as a real estate I don't want to call myself an expert. I think that word is presently bastardized. Somebody just finishes school, and the next thing the person puts real estate expert, like my friend said, recently inducted lawyers. I've already started putting law experts in their profile. CEO, principal partner, so and so chambers. That is why you have these persons. Virtually almost everybody that studied these things is now looking as if it was a waste. Like studying all these courses now seem as if it was a waste. And then education has a way of giving people this false elevation, this false pride. And then you start feeling like you are better than that man in the market selling suya. You now feel that you're better than that man in the market selling vegetables, selling pepper. You now feel like you're better than that man selling cement, that man selling building materials, because education has given you that false sense of pride. Pastor Produce said something in 50 acres and a mule, and pull yourself up by your bootstrap. I think with time, I will be giving links to the materials I've come across, the materials that form my thinking. He said something that he was reading from an article written years ago about the effect of education on the mindset of young Africans, on the mindset of young people, not Africans. That education tends to give people this false pride that they are bigger than some things. But these are the basic things that are viable. These are the basic things that are profitable in our climb. But Dr. Charles Apoki said something. Why not use that your school brain? You said, yeah, you went to school. Why not use that your first class brain and learn how to be a vulcanizer? With your first class brain, you are going to take vulcanizing to another level. With your first class brain, you will take trading to another level. With your first class brain, you take phone repairing to another level. There was something I did last year. Crazy. I looked at my life and I saw that, man, there were several things, like, which is what is forming this whole discussion I've been doing. I thought I wasn't really making any headway. Do you know what? I actually had a job, but I saw I wasn't making any headway because the job wasn't paying so well as at that time. what did I do? I went to meet one of these Igbo men that sell tiles, and I was like, I want to learn the trade. Yeah, he told me the amount to pay, and I paid. And every Saturday I go to the shop, and I will sit in the dirt. I tell my guys, I'll purposely stand facing the Lekki Ekpe Expressway. Reason being that I was fighting that pride that education had given me. I was trying to make sure I fight it. Baba, hunger day. I was trying to fight that false pride education gave me. I was trying to see to it that the false pride doesn't keep me down. That was what I was fighting. And I think I won that fight. Yeah, I think I won that fight. And I'm still going to win that fight. So let's go back to our book. Like I said, this is more like a rehearsal for me. When I get to that Rubicon, when I get to that tipping point, I will know that the teaching grace is back. Because it's been long, I thought. And when it comes back, I will know it's back. So back to the tale of Esau and Jacob, the two nations, the two kinds of people. And what that prophecy talked about, the prophecy said that a Jacob system will serve an Esau system is going to serve a Jacob system. So if you have a consumption mindset and not a production mindset, the consumer will always serve the producer. See, in times of inflation, in times of rising values, only those that have tangible value, only those that have things of value to sell will come out victorious. Should I repeat myself? In times of rising value, in times of inflation, only those that sell will come out victorious. This is to say that, recently we had that price something going up, and if you noticed, the people that felt it the most were people that had no value to offer, people that their income were fixed. An aboki that sells fruits have the liberty of increasing his price. A man that sells shirt have the liberty of increasing price. One that sells building materials have the liberty of increasing price. But you that have nothing to sell, you have no liberty of increasing anything. Elisha told the woman, "What do you have of sale value in the house?" And she said, "I have nothing except a jar of oil." So what is Elijah tell her? Elijah told her that go get vessels, pour in the oil, and then go sell, pay your debt. So what I'm saying is, a Jacob system will always lead over an Esau system. I'm trying my best not to make this video too long. I think I've said a lot. It's almost 20 minutes. Okay, let me say something. Let me give my, I think I should use this time to state my influences. Tell you people about my influences. Yeah, my number one influence is the Bible. Don't mind how tattered my Bible looks. I've had this Bible since 2nd of November, if you can see the date. I've had this Bible since 2nd of November 2013. This was given to me by the Nigeria Fellowship of Evangelical Students when we went for missions conference in Abuja. I think another one is coming up. Another one is coming up this November, October, November, yes. So this is 2025. So if you're available, I think you should attend. Nothing beats a NIFES conference. It's a training conference. It's not your regular kind of conference where you go to get allegorical teaching. When you go to a NIFES conference, you get to be taught inductive Bible study. So the Bible is one of my influences. My foundational influences were